This video is brought to you by Dr. Kristen R. Bromley's Guitar Method Book Series and Online Music Academy.
Hi, I'm Dr. Kristen Bromley. Welcome to my online academy. It's so great to have you joining me here in these online lessons. This is lesson 23 in this series that is all about jazz guitar. As you know, I love jazz guitar and I am so delighted to bring this course to you where we work line upon line, just basic principle upon principle as we learn to master this jazz style. So in this lesson, we're working on an improvisation technique. We're going to enclose the third. This is the same sort of thing that we were doing in the last lesson with the major 6 chords. We're going to do that now with the dominant 7th chords. Now, I've got up here on the board the 2 forms that we're working with. We've been working with these arpeggio shapes throughout the series, 2 different ones, one with the root on the low 6th string, one with the root on that low 5th string. And then we've done various things around those arpeggio notes. I haven't included all the things that we've done just to not clutter things up here. Mainly, we're going to focus in this lesson on getting this enclosure happening. So we got the 4 flat 3 3. We're taking the non-diatonic or non-chord tone above the third and then below, and then we're landing on it. Now we can also flip these 2 notes and go below, above, and land. But that creates a little enclosure of the chord tone. So in classical terms, we call that a double neighbor. We have a neighboring tone above, a neighboring tone below, and then we land on it, or vice versa, below, above, land. But in jazz, a lot of times we just call that an enclosure because it's just enclosing that chord tone, and that makes sense. And this is a classic sound in jazz. So this should be familiar. In the last lesson, we looked at it in the lower octave. It's actually the same for both arpeggio shapes. That root 3rd and 5th is the exact same. So that 4 flat 3 3 is the same for the dominant 7th chord as it is for the major 6 chord. So I'm not going to look at that again. But let's look on this upper octave where we're working with the dominant 7th. Now, this is also in the same place as it is for the major 6 chords. But as we get that flatted 7th in there instead of the 6th, that gets a little bit different. So I've got my root on that 10th fret, and then my index on that 8th fret, and then we land on the 9th fret for the dominant 7th shape on the top string in the key of C. So you can kind of just get that going. That would be a familiar sound from the last lesson. We got 4 flat 3 3 5 3 root. Just kind of find that enclosure. Around with it a little bit. So once you're comfortable with that one, take a look at the next form. So you got the F7. So you got that 11th fret, 9th fret, 10th fret. Kind of get used to that same sort of thing from the last lesson. Now, if we're going to bring the flatted 7th in, I'll create a little lick for us to kind of get used to it with the dominant 7th chord. We're going to go 4 flat 3 3 5, and then we can go up to this, add that 6th in, which I have there starred on both cases up to that flatted 7th. Just that much. So I'm doing the enclosure, 4 flat 3 3 5 6 flat 7 6 5. I'm going to get used to that. And then do it with the other form. So for F, I'm going to get comfortable with that. Once you're comfortable with that, we want to look at adding a little bit more to it, where we have the 4 flat 3 3 5 3 root. So and then once you get that one down, you want to do it with the other form. So get comfortable there. Now that lick can help us just kind of get comfortable with working this around the circle of force of the dominant 7th chord. I haven't put the names of the circle of force up here on the board. We've done this so much, and being in lesson 23, I have it written again, but we're going to be in C at the 8th fret, then F, next form. So we're going back and forth between the two forms. So we got C to F, we got B flat to E flat, A flat to D flat, G flat, B, E, A, D, G, C. That should be familiar to you. If it's not, and this is the first lesson, that's okay. Check out some of the earlier lessons as we work around the circle of force a lot. It gets us through all 12 keys in a fashion that we often move through chord progressions in songs in. So it's great to work through the circle of force. So what we'll do is we'll just play this lick through the circle force, so we can kind of get familiar with this, and then we will go ahead and improvise over a backing track using these kinds of ideas. So we're going to go 1, 2, starting with C. I'm going to put that on 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and. So that's where the rhythm will lie. So you got 1, 2, 3 in C. Then we'll go up to F. B flat, and E flat, and A flat, and D flat, and G flat, and B, and E, and A, and D, G, and C. Just like that. So work that as much as you need to at different tempos if you need to, but we're going to go ahead here in this lesson and improvise over a backing track. It's going to be at 121 beats per minute. All the backing tracks, as I've mentioned in other lessons, that we use here in these lessons are available on the channel, so you can just play with them as much as you want to without me playing over the top. So this one's going to be at 121 beats per minute. There's also one available at 101 beats per minute. Down in the description below, there's links for both of those, but you can also find them on the Jazz Jam Along backing track playlist on the channel. We're going to have 8 bars per chord, so we're going to go around that circle of force starting with C7. We'll have 8 bars per chord to improvise. Now technically we can use any of the things we've worked on so far in the course, but I'm going to go ahead and just prioritize playing some ideas with this enclosure idea, just working on getting that happening, not worrying about the other things that we have happening. As we move forward in the course, we'll have chances to work on licks where it's all sort of incorporated, and etudes and playing tunes and so on. So great chances for that, but right here I'm just going to go ahead and focus in on using this enclosure idea to improvise over these chords, and then using the chord tones around it for the most part. You can steal anything I play right along with me. That's how we learn this music, right? So we're going to hear and 4 and in the snare drum, and then we'll be in the key of C. Let's do it. So we're in C, well, C7. Now up to F. B flat. Okay, super fun. At least I hope it's super fun. Now, I was really focusing in on that 4 flat 3 3. We've done before where you can take that flat 3 up to the 3. We also can just use the 4 down to the 3. So 5 4 3. You don't always have to do the 4 flat 3 3. You can bring that 4 in. The thing with the 4th though is that we don't really want to sit on it typically. Now Charlie Christian in that early era kind of did in sort of a bluesy fashion and a sound that was then. But as we move forward into the jazz, bebop language and so on, we really don't sit on the 4 because it's at high tension unless it's a sus chord, which happens way later. So we can though use it as a tension note that then resolves to that 3rd. So we don't always have to go 4 flat 3 3, but that's a great sound to get in there. So fun to bring in that 4, fun to get that enclosure, such a classic sound. As we move forward now, we've got some other improv things we're going to work on with the major 6th and dominant 7th chords. So we're going to play around with a little bit with that flat 9, which we actually bring in some. So it's going to be cool. We'll keep moving forward. We got lots of great things to come with chords, tunes, and improvisation techniques. So keep having fun with this guitar stuff. These jazz lessons come out on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. There's lots of other lessons on Technique Tuesdays, Theory Thursdays, and various things on Saturdays. So lots of help on the channel, in addition to the hundreds of lessons that have already been released. So great stuff. Keep at it. Take care, and we'll see you again. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. For more in-depth lessons and to progress through a free guitar course, check out my Guitar 101 series on YouTube and my guitar method books, which all come with access to hours of in-depth video lessons. You can find more information about me and my products at KristenBromley.com. Take care.